used as the O in our magazine title. It was a clever accessory for the evening, but I allowed myself a beat of pride that my borrowed dress had pockets big enough for a lipstick, cash, and my company-issued cell phone. No bag necessary. I found the bar as instructed, and then realized I had no idea what Catherine would want to drink. In light of her Sex and the City reference in the car, I ordered 2 Cosmos, tucked her clutch between my waist and elbow, and managed to teeter my way back to the step and repeat. By the time she finally extricated herself from the photography session, I was done with my drink and ready to start on hers. When she rejoined me, she grabbed the drink but not her purse. "Catherine," I held up the sequined clutch. She was hugging a fashion designer. "Do you need—" Then the mayor. I ended up following her around with that stupid purse all night long, leaving only to get drinks, which I decided to vary wildly as the night went on. If she noticed, she didn't say anything. And Catherine Lancaster would definitely speak up if she disapproved. These days, if I treated an assistant that way, I'd worry they'd take to Twitter or call in a blind item to page 6. But in the early aughts, a young writer like me considered it a privilege to do the grunt work for those who had earned their spot at the top of the masthead. I was the designated silent purse holder. The first call to the phone stashed in the very expensive pocket of my designer dress came as dinner was being served. My parents. I let it go to voicemail. Stupidly, I actually assumed they were calling because they were proud to have a daughter at such a lavish event. They had never heard of it, of course, but I tried to explain to them when I first got the invitation that it was highly unusual for someone at my level to be included. But when they called 5 minutes later, and then again an hour after that, I knew it wouldn't be about me at all. I had 2 options: leave while Catherine was holding court at the city woman table, or let it all flow into voicemail. It was possible something was wrong with Mom or Dad, but in my gut, I knew it was probably something with Nicky. It was always Nicky. I stayed put in my seat. When another call came in during dessert, I snuck a peek at the tiny screen of my Nokia. This time it was from Nicky's house. Yep, as suspected. It was my sister's drama once again. Perfectly timed with one of the most important opportunities I'd been given since moving to New York City to pursue a writing career. This time, I turned off the phone before stashing it in my pocket. Catherine glanced at me as she rose from the table, which I interpreted as an invitation to follow. When she broke off for the ladies' room, after what I deemed to be an uncharacteristic smoke break outside the tent, I finally powered up my phone to check my messages. 3 from my mom. "Call me." A hang-up, and, "Damn it, she's still not answering." That left the most recent call, the one from Nicky. It was just like her to pick this night to implode. When I pressed 1 to listen, it wasn't Nicky's voice that I heard. It was her husband, Adam. This wasn't the first time Adam had reached out to me about my sister, but this one was different. I had never heard this kind of emotion before in his voice, anger mixed with exhaustion and fear. The message itself was short. "Call me when you can, okay? It's important." He left me the number of the cell phone he used for work. I repeated it over and over again in my head until I dialed it. When he picked up after 2 rings, he laid out the facts like a lawyer, not a husband. Nicky was at the Cleveland Clinic. As he spoke, while A-list actors and socialites mingled around me, I pictured my sister, her long honey-brown hair plastered against her shoulder blades, pool-soaked clothing clinging to her thin frame. And the baby, I still called him a baby at least, spitting up chlorinated water from his tiny lungs. "I can't keep going through this with her, Chloe. Not with a child in the picture. She could have really hurt him. If I hadn't walked outside." I started to protest that Nicky would never hurt her son, but realized